Hi, and welcome to the No Ceilings podcast on the Turtlesmith Network, where we talk to you about how to start your business. Today, we actually have a special guest with us, and so we are going to welcome Kaylin Tillman from Katie Beauty.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You ready to get into it
Yes.
today?
Glad to be here.
All right. Well, let's start out simple. How's your week been?
It's been good. Pretty busy.
Okay.
But that's always a good thing.
Of course. Keeping it busy, moving on to the next week. Next thing you know, Christmas is around the corner.
I know. Time is flying by.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christmas and gifts, I was blessed with 2 more grandchildren, twin girls. So that makes me have 3 granddaughters.
Pawpaw.
Big Pawpaw.
Is that what they gonna call you?
No.
What they gonna call you?
Probably Grandpa, Pawpaw, something like that.
I thought you would have a cooler name than that.
No, I want to be, I'm going to be the cool grandpa, but, they just be like.
What about Pops?
My kids call me that.
Okay. Grandpops.
Mm-hmm. I think we're pushing
it there. What you
think, Kaylin? Look, I don't even know what to think. Just since he's gonna be a grandpa now, like, is a grandpa? It's just
right.
Weird. Like, yeah.
Man, never would have expected it.
Never would expect it. Paw. Anyway.
Paw.
Well, I am coming back I've been, for 5 days, I was in Atlanta. Got a chance I hadn't been there in about 10 years, and so I got a chance to dip around the city a little bit and check it out. It's looking good. Everything seems like it's on the up and up. We got out of there before the hurricane came through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what'd you do down there?
My husband, his job required that he be there, and so I was just hanging out. I was kind of vacationing.
Nice.
No, I enjoyed it. I got a little bit of quiet time, but of course, it feels like when you come back from being out of town, you have to do a little catch up. You're playing catch up with like laundry, that kind of thing, getting the kids back in order. So.
Getting back into the flow of things.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's get into it. So our last episode, we talked about concept development, and the goal of that was to be able to build a training manual. And so the next step is marketing strategy and sales approach. And I thought that it would be great to have somebody on that really knows how to do marketing and strategize, how to get yourself out there on social media. And what better than to find somebody that's in the beauty industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that is where Miss Kaylin Tillman comes in. So we'll go ahead and get started. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your brand?
Okay, well, I'm a licensed esthetician. I've been doing this for at least 7 years now, and I specialize in full body waxing. I mainly do Brazilian waxing, and dermaplaning facials is what I mainly do. So just taking care of the skin overall is my specialty.
Okay. All right. So how did you get into this?
I know it's a crazy thing because I was just wondering what I would want to do, like just being in an office. I'm like, what else do I want to do in life besides just, working a regular 9 to 5? I just knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So many entrepreneurs in my family, just having that freedom, so I was always into skincare, and that's what made me just dive into researching what I could do to make it a business, pretty much.
Basically working in your passion.
Yes, definitely.
Passion and purpose.
Yeah.
That's important. All right. So who is your ideal client?
For the most part, it's women that comes. I do have male clients that come more so for facials. More men are getting into skincare, which is really good.
Absolutely.
But with me more so doing waxing, I have a lot of women that come in. We always want to feel our best, look our best, all of that. So it's just really important overall just for self-care.
All right. So what is the mission and core values behind your brand?
I'll just say putting yourself first. Like, that's one thing that a lot of times just anybody it is not just a women, men. It's just taking care of yourself is just really important overall. The mental health, your skin health, everything. So.
All right. Well, I think that I kind of want to switch gears just a little bit and just kind of ask you a little bit about your brand growth and how your brand has evolved since it started. You said you started about 7 years ago, and so how has it evolved?
Well, just what they would call like a baby esthetician. It's like it's really grown because now more people are getting into just taking care of their skin and everything. Back then, it wasn't just as, I would say, popular as it is now. So you really just gotta go from there and just promote how you should take care of your skin, your health overall. Even just with getting waxed, I mean, it's not like everybody prefers it, but if it's something that you want and you just want your body smooth all over, then that's something that you're gonna get on the regular. Like, it's just part of keeping that monthly routine going, like how people get their hair done or get their nails done, pedicures, all of that is just a part of maintaining yourself and what you want.
I have a weird question. How often does a person come and how often have you seen people come and get waxes, I guess?
At least every month for sure. If you, cause I do brows as well. So a lot of times I'll see them like every 2 weeks to 3 weeks. But most of the time I'm seeing everybody on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So.
I just wondered if people come more since your brows, normally most people go every couple of weeks. And so do they just do all encompassing or?
Sometimes, yeah. Okay. Sometimes instead of them coming like every 2 weeks, they're like, oh, I'll just come whenever I get my Brazilian wax and just get everything done at once. And
Okay.
So with your male clients, how often do you see them for facials?
At least once a month as well. Like your skin, the body is amazing. So the skin restores itself every 28 days pretty much. As you get older, of course, it's a little bit further out than that. But just taking care of your skin while you're younger, it'll really pay off, in the long run. So it really also depends on what you have going on with your skin. A lot of people have different skin conditions, everything. So it really varies, but for the most part, I see everybody at least once a month.
Okay.
All right. So let's talk about your marketing strategy. What strategies do you use to differentiate yourself in a saturated beauty market, because it is pretty saturated?
It is, and honestly, social media is the best thing. I really could do more than that, word of mouth, but to kind of set yourself apart, you do have to put yourself out there, kind of mix and mingle, just like at different events. I go to workshops, stuff like that, and even just meeting other estheticians. Sometimes is where they will connect me with some people, like if they're just too busy or whatever the case may be. You never know. You could get clients all type of ways just with connections.
That's true.
So how do you stay updated on the latest beauty trends?
I do a lot of research and also social media as well. Okay. TikTok, Instagram. And I would say it's just always evolving. Once you in the esthetician field, you kind of stay connected through groups and everything. And then, of course, going to workshops. And, of course, they have different conventions. I went to a convention back in March. So it's a lot of ways to learn what's going on. I'll say even if you're not on social media, if you sign up for different email marketing, they let you know what's going on all the time. And it is always changing. So
So with the market being saturated as it is, it also seems like you guys are kind of almost like a community as well with the estheticians and stuff.
Yep.
How do you analyze it's like competition in your position in the market?
Well, I don't really think about competition per se. I mean, because I'm just doing my own thing. Everybody's going to do what they want to do. We all will have our certain type of client groups in a way. Like my connection with somebody will be different from another esthetician. You know, they have like a different vibe overall. So it's just kind of what you put out and the clients that you attract in a way, I guess you could say, is just how you would go about getting your clients. And really what you want, like what type of clients that you want is important because you're going to market to those type of clients. So
Have you ever had the same client as another esthetician that you know?
Yeah, and I have a few of my clients are actually in esthetician school right now. So that's really good because, you know, they are able to get information from me and they just know that it's a good field to go into. And like I have a few people that we exchange services, you know, so that's a way for us to both save money on beauty services because, you know, it adds up.
Yeah. And then it seems like if you're super booked and somebody can't get into you, you can refer them to somebody else. So you kind of share. Like remember, there were a few episodes back, I said there's enough business to go around.
It is.
Right.
And you have to be able to really just tap into your network and work your business. Make your business work.
So I got another question. Excuse me. So like with the rising cost of everything and all that stuff, how do you go about like pricing your services and stuff like that? And just a little bit more onto the question, as like time progresses, when do you know that you need to like hike up the cost on your services and products?
Well, with any business, you should always be looking into how much money you're spending on products. And that's one thing you got to keep in mind. You always want to make sure you're getting the right return on investment. So that's how you really kind of just pinpoint your pricing. And also it is depending on like what you think that someone should be paying you for this type of service that you are offering. Like, are you actually offering, you know, a quality job, quality products, all of that stuff you have to take into consideration. So everything that I do, like even with aftercare products and all of that, I want clients to be using like the best thing so you could get the best results overall.
Right.
So that's how I did increase my rates maybe I think it was last year. This year, I actually didn't increase my rates. And part of the reason why is because I created a membership. So
good idea.
I have like most of my clients that are consistently coming in on that monthly basis, they are able to save a bit more and get complimentary aftercare products and stuff like that. And even though I am shelling out some money on the back end, it's really like they are taking care of me, you know, like I know for sure that I'm going to get that business and everything. So that's also just something to keep in mind because it all just comes down to the bottom line of what you're making, what you're putting out, everything. So.
All right. Well, that I'm glad that you said that because now I want to talk to you about like your marketing strategy and your sales approach. So in our previous podcast, Scott and John on the main podcast, Scott and John talked about like your marketing strategies, and as we know, it costs money to market in certain arenas. So you know, you've got cold calling, you've got cold emails, you've got physical advertisements, your billboards, that kind of thing, digital advertising, commercials, that kind of thing, social media. What is your sales approach? And I guess before I ask you what your sales approach is and how you get your customers, how did you get your first customer? And then we'll jump into what your marketing strategies are.
My first customer was word of mouth. Family. Yeah.
That's how you do
it.
it.
And then I was already telling them like what I was planning on doing. Like I had already had this in mind, like over a year before I even went to school for this. So it was just like a long time coming in a way. And once I actually started doing it and everything, like, oh, she's actually, taking clients and everything. So it just went from there.
Okay. How long did it take you? That's just a question that I have. How long did it take you to go through esthetician school?
10 months. It was 10. Yeah, it was 10 months.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what platforms or channels do you use to sell your products or services?
So I use a few websites. For my booking, I use StyleSeat. I've been using them ever since I've gotten started, and so that's an app. And you can also go on the actual website to book appointments, see my availability, all of that. But then I've ended up for my product sales and all of that, I had created a website through Square. So anybody could go on there, create a website. They have a lot of functionality that you could do. I actually have, it has an option where you can book through there, and it does take you through my StyleSeat where you could continue to book. And that's what I've been doing. It's a lot of other websites and stuff that you can use, but that's just what's been working for me. I really love the StyleSeat app because they also bring you clients. So that's part of the reason why I haven't just gotten rid of that, because I'm like, I could get clients through them, and then of course my clientele and all of that. So
when you say you get clients through them, so they market your services through StyleSeat?
Yes.
Okay.
So they will recommend, like, let's say somebody's looking for esthetician, OKC, new to the city, and need somebody, and they just search a certain thing, like based on your reviews. I usually come up because I do have a lot of good reviews, and so they pretty much go with like top pros and refer them, and they'll book.
So you got some clout in the esthetician world, basically. Okay.
Look, I'm a top pro on StyleSeat. I have over,
and she is.
Yes, I have over
1,000.
Over, I think it's like over 700 5-star reviews now.
Yes,
Wow.
and she has a 5-star rating.
Yes.
Okay.
So absolutely.
No, that's no easy feat.
I know.
All right.
So yeah.
I had to look that up just because I wanted to see what the platform looked like. So.
Yeah, so you could create a profile on there, or you could book as a guest. So they have options.
And I just typed in Brazilian wax just to see if it was searching. You pulled straight up. So yeah. That's cool. That's dope.
So with that's a lot of good feedback, of course. So how has that feedback helped your business as far as the service that you provide?
Well, just going back to the websites, they give you a lot of insights on how many people are actually going to your site. Like if they look from an app, did they go on there and try to book and didn't book? You could still reach out to people. Like it's a lot of different things that you could find out about how people are booking or what service they're wanting and all of that. So that helps me a little bit more with my marketing on my end, because they're kind of getting all the data and stuff for me, and then I could go from there.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
So, excuse me. You collect that data, and it kind of helps you come up with an idea about how you're going to come up with the next marketing strategy or improve the marketing strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Because whenever I did first start out, I was more so into doing facials. Like that's why I say I mainly got into it for the skincare and everything. But of course, I always loved doing brows and waxing. But with the information that I did get from the websites and stuff, more people were coming to me for Brazilian waxing, and that kind of just took over my business. And everybody want to get waxed. So
I
I'm
remember
like,
initially you were doing a lot of facials and a dermaplaning, and then next I know that was like at the top of your services was what do you call it? The vajacial? Yeah, and I was like, I had never heard of anything like that before. and I mean, that's what the bulk of your bookings started to become and your clientele.
Yep. And so once that traction started going, of course, I started promoting more of that.
Did you see that in the beginning?
No, that's what I'm like. Everybody like, oh, so you just out here doing Brazilian waxing? I'm like, yeah. Look, that's part of being an esthetician.
Exactly. Like, and that is something that women truly enjoy. You know, we want to feel good about ourselves. Yeah. So yeah, that's important. That's a part of that soft life.
Exactly. So one less thing for you to do. You don't got to worry about shaving.
Exactly.
None of the irritation from shaving, all of that. So.
Well, do you get a lot of? I also pulled up your Instagram page, and so I see that you do quite a bit of advertising on your social media, as well. Does that generate?
Yeah, I'm way more active on Instagram.
Okay.
I get on Facebook sometime. You know, Facebook a different place, you know. I be like, oh my goodness. Okay, I'll get on there for a little bit, might post a little something. But yeah, Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook is definitely a different place.
Yeah.
It's wilding out.
It's like a third world country now.
I'm not on there.
Catch me on Instagram. Katie Beauty Studio.
Yes.
Yeah, and TikTok. I'm just now getting on TikTok a little bit too, but that's also Katie Beauty Studio.
Okay, that was my next question because I definitely. So those are platforms where essentially you could start out advertising for free, and then I know with TikTok, even over time, if you want to boost your exposure, there's ways that you can kind of pay into that or whatever. But I think that's also an option as well, but it seems like you get quite a bit of business. You booked and busy.
I love Instagram.
So they reach out on Instagram and you just direct them to Style Seat, or how do you go about?
So my links, I have a link and it will take you either to my actual booking website, my where you could buy products, my official website. I have an ebook. You could purchase my ebook on there.
When I hit the Instagram, that's what you get.
So I have a few things linked, You
got an ebook?
Yep. Yes. Okay. I dropped that back in May.
Mm-hmm. Get that ebook, y'all.
Yeah. So that really tells about some of my journey. It didn't, that's kind of a little intro, I guess you could say, of how I got started and to where I'm at now. And it's a lot of things that I'm trying to do in the future. So pretty much just for entrepreneurs and estheticians, it's not just all glitter and gold, because with social media, a lot of people think that you just get overnight success sometimes. So
and it takes time.
It tells about that because, even just from me, before I became an esthetician, it was I had a plan and ended up going for it, and of course had bumps along the way, but still, made it through and continuing on with what I'm doing. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that definitely you just kind of laid out, you answered a lot of questions that we had. So I'm going to move into one last question in your sales approach, and then I wanna move to the next segment. So, do you have a referral or a loyalty program in place? I know you have your membership.
Yeah, the Pretty Kitty Club membership. That's what I have.
Pretty Kitty Club.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
I like Pretty Kitty too.
I launched that last year.
That's it right there.
Just saying.
Look, all the Pretty Kitty Club members, they know. Look. They are down for all the vibes.
Okay. Okay.
We get to catch up, make sure they're good, they get their products, everything. Just you know.
That's good. So they pay for services with you, and then you find a way to give back.
Yes,
I love
definitely.
that.
So they could, I have either monthly or also a yearly membership with that.
I'm taking notes.
I'm taking those too. I'm gonna start me a pretty kitty club.
That's it.
Whew.
All right.
You a pretty kitty club member.
So if there's a customer that is the pretty kitty club. All right.
Oh my bad.
So how do you? So you have your customer base. How do you get new customers? Or are you even looking? Are you so booked that you don't really need anybody new?
I'll never say that, but new clients, I more so get them from referrals.
Okay.
I do, like, let's say I had someone booked that was new from Style Seat or something and they ended up canceling last minute. I'll always, like, reach out to them or something and just be like, I'm here if you still want to book for whatever service they were attempting to book. And I don't know what happened because, of course, I never, like, met them before. They just probably found me on there and then who knows what happened. But also, even just going out places, sometimes, if I'm speaking to someone and they, like, compliment me on, like, brows or something, and then I'm like, oh, I do my brows or whatever. Could just go from there.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's really cool. And the reason why I say that is because, you can be like your own walking advertisement, and just as you said, people ask you who do your brows, who does your lashes, that kind of thing. You're a walking advertisement, and so you go into Target, you may run into people. I think that there's also, and this is just me talking off the top of my head, an opportunity for people like to get together. I know post-pandemic, folks have been a little scared to get out, but everybody outside now. And so, is there a way to have like these cute little pop-up shops where you show what your services are for people that may have never had their eyebrows done? That way you get a variety of people, older women that don't necessarily get their eyebrows and lashes done, that may be interested in getting what is it, a Brazilian
vajacial.
Getting more information about that. So maybe you could do like some classes or something that gives them an opportunity to get more information about that.
Definitely. I like that idea. I haven't done an event in a while, and I actually been talking about it, but I have some ideas in the works. Okay. So I'm like kind of working on a few things right now. I'm trying to like revamp my studio and everything. Okay. So one step at a time, I'm just trying to, it's like a never-ending list of things to do.
Yeah.
So pie in the sky ideas, and you're like, oh, I want to do all of this. And then you realize that it's like, okay, we just talked about that earlier today. One step at a time. Okay, I got to do this. Yeah. I can't do all of these things. I have to do one thing at a time. So I completely understand that, but keep us up to date on that. So
for sure.
Definitely put that out there for the people who have never experienced it or want to experience Katie Beauty.
Exactly.
So I do want to ask you, do you have an elevator pitch?
I don't think so.
Like how do you sell your business to your customers? How do you sell your business to your
potential investors?
Do you have anybody that works for you? Do you
stuff like that. So in that case, really I've just been trying to focus more on funding, like how you said, investors. I do have a lot of people that believe in me and, luckily are there to support me. So I have been working on a few things that, of course, will cost a lot of money. So just reinvest it in myself and my business, and then trying to move forward towards what I want overall. It's always nice to have those people in your corner, because I mean, it really does take a village, I'll say, to get to where you're trying to go. So I'll say overall, I've been definitely working on that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. And if you need any assistance with that, we'll be happy to direct you to the turtlesmith.com network. All right.
Bag drop.
Do you have do you have anything else that you'd like to ask in this segment before we move to our next segment?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, with that being said, we'll move to business struggles. And in this segment, normally we talk about like the highs and lows of businesses. And so what I like to do is actually ask you a question, because you have a business that you may have some current struggles in or past struggles in. And I'd like for you to be able to share that with everybody, just so that people know that all businesses aren't just, rainbows and unicorns all the time. It's not pretty all the time. So my question to you is, what has been the biggest struggle in your business?
Okay, so I could definitely just go back to, like I was saying, with my ebook and everything, that does get into pretty much just getting everything off the ground. Like, I would say for just someone who never had a business before, just getting everything going, it's like it can be overwhelming trying to decide like what steps you need to take, especially if nobody's like in your corner and everything. So luckily I do have, people who can give me some insight on taking the right steps. And then of course you still need to do your research as well to get everything going. But I'll say from there, the main thing is, of course, getting that funding. Like, a lot of times just Black-owned businesses and even just women in general don't really get funding like we need and everything, or even just grants. Like, I just applied for a grant like 2 months ago, and I just found out last month I did not get it. And I was really sad about it, because just not getting the grant, grant, they had few lower amounts, and I still didn't get those. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I did everything I was supposed to do and all of that. So it's kind of like a slap in the face sometimes, where you just got to make sure that you're pouring back into your business, because of course you got to make sure you're taking care of your livelihood as well, and it could just be overwhelming sometimes. So that's what I'm saying. Like, luckily, it's just nice to have a lot of people encourage you, and then also give you more information. Like, actually one of my clients had told me about that last grant that I applied for, and the exact thing that was at the top, it was pretty much for women and Black-owned businesses, and it gave all these lists of websites and stuff you could go to, and I'm like, I haven't even heard of a lot of the sites and everything. So it's just like getting that information.
Why do you think that, and you are a woman and a minority in business, why do you think it's so hard for us to get the funding that we need?
I'll just say, like, I don't want to say nothing too crazy, but it's just
Just go ahead and say it. go ahead and say it.
It's like just the way it is. I mean, sadly, like, it's just so many other people that could get all the funding, all these requirements that we have. And even if we meet their requirements, it's like you still don't get it. And it's just like, okay.
It's like getting the rug pulled from up under your feet.
Sometimes I also wonder if, the things that you find out about, everybody found out about. And so there's not enough to go around for everybody too, especially when it's limited to women and minorities. Or, there may be, everybody fighting to get that. That grant. Wow.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I definitely would like to just sit with you outside of the podcast and just look at what you have and see what we can do as far as these steps go to assist you in anything that you may need in order to help build your business.
Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Do you have any business struggles that you'd like to talk about?
No, I think that was there's no way you can really backdoor that business struggle right there.
Yeah.
I do have one question though, and this is just in order for me to tie this into our actual step. If someone were to have to step in for you, do you have anything prepared for last minute assistance? Meaning, you have you have the flu, and you have clients and you can't see them. Do you have an esthetician friend that could step in for you and assist you in your business during that time, or do you just have to shut down?
Yeah, I actually do, and it's like I was saying, like how I know a few people that are in school or just finished school. I have people that's like trying to shadow me, or even just I would consider like mentees in a way. So I always have them, and then also, of course, some of my esthetician friends. We always like just look out for each other.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
You bringing people up, keeping people in the game. That's like I like that.
Yep, I love that. Okay, well, I think that's it on business struggles. So we will move on to actionable items. And so actionable items here on the No Ceilings podcast, we just talk about what the viewers that are watching, what they can do in order to move their business that they're putting together to the next step. So in this step, we've talked about the end goal for this step was to develop a strategy to get your first customer. So if you are out there in TV land and you are trying to figure out what your next step is to get your first customer, you want to make sure that you are looking at how you want to market your business. Do you want to do cold calls? Do you want to do cold emails? It all depends on your business, because for me as a bail bondsman, I marketed in several different ways. It was word of mouth. There was also the advertisement aspect. I ran a commercial ad. There was also, we had cards. We had a lot of different things that we did in order to market the business. So how will you market your business? Will you use social media, which is an opportunity to do free advertisement? You can do digital advertising, cold emails, media marketing, however you want to do it. You need to figure out what it is that you want to do to determine what your marketing approach is. Then you also want to figure out, you want to refer back to your elevator pitch, and you want to adjust that elevator pitch with the marketing that you have in order to determine, who and how you're gonna market to them. Or you can do that by, just looking at your brand and looking at anything that you need to do, financial data, how much money you have in order to invest into the marketing strategy and adjust your pitch in that way. If you have to go the free route, which the majority of us do, that is all good too. How are you going to do that? And I think that's the best way to start. And see what you get out of that. It may take a lot of hours, but I think that it's definitely worth it to do that. So with that being said, I think that in this next step, make sure that you have your standard operating procedures. Make sure that you know what your startup costs are, the equipment that you need for your marketing and strategies. And then also make sure that you adjust your elevator pitch as needed. And then once you have all of that together and you know what your labeling and packaging is going to look like, what your cards are going to look like, any invoices, company invoices, all the documentation that you need, what all of that is going to look like so that you can prepare this strategy and this pitch. So you have anything on that?
Definitely. And don't look past your friends, family members.
Definitely.
Anybody like that, close neighbors, to be your first customer. That's going to be the first person that's going to talk about you the most.
Yeah.
The most, excuse me.
Yep. The most.
The most. Talk about you the most. They're going to say, hey, I know somebody that is a bail bondsman. I know an esthetician. I know somebody that sells cakes. I know somebody that does plumbing. Plunge it. Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that because that's how I started as a bail bondsman. It was just direct word of mouth. Like before I did anything else, everybody was, Courtney Walton bail bonds, and then, believe it or not, since my dad was a bondsman, people like, did you know such and such? I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. And they were like, oh, okay. And I got all of this business, more business than I could. I only wanted to do it part-time. It ended up being a full-time deal, and it gets tiring over time. But, you really realize that, that's word of mouth really is free advertisement all day long. Then you go to church and you tell all the people at church know, and then you've got all the church business. Yeah, people from church go to jail, so or their children go to jail. So you get that business. The ad that I was running was being ran behind it was on a church network. So
oh wow,
yeah. So you can. Word of mouth is huge, and if you know somebody that do something, tell folk. I'm gonna tell people. I done told people about you. So.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you.
Well, with that being said, I think that kind of wraps up this episode. Before we get out of here, I'd like to hand it off to Kaylin to let us know where she can be reached.
Okay, well, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Katie Beauty Studio.
Tell the people on TV land.
Yes. So you can reach me at Katie Beauty Studio on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok anytime, or on go straight to my link at www.styleseat.com/KatieBeauty.
All right.
Yeah, like that.
Yep.
And if you have any questions on Step 7, our marketing strategy and sales approach, please go to turtlesmith.com, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Kaylin, for coming.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.